looking at how the Asia Pacific is structured, the security environment there, can you kind of explain what threats allies and partners are facing in the Indo-Pacific?
Well, there's no doubt that the PRC is an area of concern, and it has definitely taken actions. I mean, there's a lot of focus on Taiwan, of course, but I think the area that has a lot of people concerned right now is the Philippines. So that is a country, a situation that people are going to be watching closely to see how that develops, and hopefully it doesn't cross very specific red lines, but they want to be prepared in case it does. China, of course, is not the only issue, but tailoring it around common, say, values and responses to common contingencies of varying sorts is always a more unifying tactic than singling out any particular country.
Is there a priority, though, in Asia, in the Indo-Pacific? Some analysts say that leading up to the U.S. election, we could see more activity coming out of North Korea in terms of weapons tests, but then there's the pacing challenge that people call, that is Taiwan Strait and South China Sea. Do you see any sort of priority that the U.S. and allies are looking to in the Indo-Pacific?
North Korea is, of course, always there, and North Korea is doing provocative things like testing missiles and testing new weapon systems and just doing things that kind of provoke the South Korean people unnecessarily. And it's doing that at a rate that in the past would have definitely made headlines and raised tensions quite a bit. But because it has become so normalized in a sense, and because China is there as the overarching pacing threat, the activities that North Korea has been up to in recent months have kind of been in the background instead. So yes, China is definitely the thing that has more people on edge at the moment.
And given the way that the world right now is kind of trying to grapple with two conflicts, one in Europe, one in the Middle East, some countries have expressed concern that a third conflict in Asia could spread the United States too thin. Do you think that concern is valid? Is that being spread across the Asia-Pacific region?
Yes, there are definitely concerns about the U.S. industrial base and its ability to support multiple conflicts at once. If there's too much of an expansion in, say, the war in the Middle East, then that would be a considerable strain on the U.S.'s resources if it were compelled to continue to support Israel in that instance, even as it supports Ukraine, especially given the political struggles that have been dividing Congress over the funding for Ukraine, and not just for them, but for other partners as well. So an additional conflict in the Indo-Pacific would absolutely put a strain on that. Thankfully, it would put a strain on certain other countries that are prone to causing such conflicts, and that's why we are, for the moment, on guard, but not convinced that it's imminent.